Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you are back, welcome back. Today I'm here with my recap and review of the month of October 2022, if you want to be really specific. But I love doing these recap videos each month so that I can do just a snapshot look at the different projects I've completed in the past month, as well as look ahead to what I have planned for the month ahead, both in terms of crafting and content. So I know a lot of you guys really enjoy these videos. I know that I personally love watching them as well. Feel free to leave a comment below with what you worked on in the month of October and any fun plans you have for the month of November. So to get started, I completed 3 projects in total, all for Drills and Chills 2022, which I was hosting this year and is wrapping up as we speak. I'm filming this on Halloween, and it's hard to believe that this epic 2-month event is drawing to a close. It's very bittersweet for me. It has been so much fun to host this event, and that's something else that I am commemorating about the month of October. Thank you to all of you that have participated, and whether or not you entered or were just joining on the sidelines, I have been really incredibly blown away by the excitement and the enthusiasm for Drills and Chills, and it just makes my heart so happy. So thank you if you've been a part of that. But anyway, I did have 3 finishes for October, like I said, and I have just 1 WIP going into the month of November, and I think some of you guys will be very excited to see what project that is that I have been neglecting for several months at this point, and that I have finally returned to give some real time and love. So as far as content goes, because sometimes this is fun to share as well, I put up a total of 22 videos on my regular, just my YouTube channel. And then if you happen to be a part of my Patreon, I also put up some vlogs over there. I always like to just mention that I do have a Patreon if you're interested in seeing more behind the scenes content, a lot less filtered content, and you actually also get to be a part of helping me decide what to do on my channel and with my projects and whatnot. So I actually just was able to change over the subscription structure so that instead of always billing you on the first of the month, now it just bills you on the day of the month that you sign up. So that I think works a lot better for a lot of people. You don't feel like you have to sign up right at the beginning of the month to get your money's worth. But if you're interested, I will link to that down in the description box. Please don't feel obligated. Honestly, I am just thrilled and more than grateful and happy with the support that you guys give me just by watching my videos. So thank you so much for that. As far as events go, like I said, I was a part of hosting Drills and Chills. And so the projects that I worked on and finished this month were for that event. And one of the projects that I completed was also eligible for the Festival of Witches, which was hosted by my friend Lindsay over at Emeralds and Fairy Lights. So that event is about to wrap up as well. Anyway, I'd like to go ahead and do a set of little recaps on the actual projects that I finished. This is my logbook where I just track some really basic info. I usually put the picture of the artwork in there, though I'm missing so many to go back in and add them. But then I also will note things like my favorite parts about the kit, maybe if there were challenges I had with the kit. See, I need to add in my picture for this particular piece in here. It's in the disaster zone that is my desk over there. But anyway, I'll also note like if I used it to participate in any events. I'll note the stats and stuff like that, and the artist and the shop, and anything else, any other random notes. So yeah, that kind of speaks for itself. If you're having some deja vu, I did do a set of mini sort of recap post-review style snapshots of my finishes for Drills and Chills just last week. So you may have just a little bit of deja vu, but I did not want to neglect these monthly recap videos because I know that a lot of you guys don't necessarily watch event videos and really enjoy these monthly videos. But like I said, just wanted to acknowledge that yes, you have heard about this kit a couple of times already. But the name of this kit is Moonlight Bride. It is by the artist Anne-Jolie Aubrey and is from the company Diamond Art Club. Can we please talk just for a second about the level of sparkle in this kit? I'm telling you what, Diamond Art Club's round diamonds are so hyper faceted, and you can see it so well in these dark diamonds in particular. And I'm not using extreme lighting or anything. I'm not using any kind of filter. That is just a level of sparkle that seems to be happening. I wasn't even going to talk about that yet, but it was just that distracting. Anyway, the size on this kit is 51 by 71 centimeters. It has a total of 29 colors, and it has, like I said, round diamonds and includes some really, really beautiful special drills, which I just have to take a moment to show off. So first, we have these oversized kind of opal pearls. They have this white AB coating that matches the white AB drills you see in the butterflies or the moths. I thought that these were butterflies until one of my Drills and Chills videos where I was like, okay, the keyword is butterfly. And several people were like, oh, I thought those were moths. And I was like, are they moths? That would make way more sense for the Corpse Bride theme, but I wasn't able to take it back at that point. Anyway, moths or butterflies. There's some white ABs in there that matches the white AB coating on the oversized pearls there. And if you look right there, we've got a clear crystal drill, which they called an iridescent diamond right there in the middle. And then we also have, let me find a really good spot to show you. Yeah, down here. We have these black opal pearls with a black AB coating. Has kind of that oil slick effect. Very much matches the black ABs that we have in this kit as well. I think that's really, really an amazing effect. Doesn't matter how many times I do a little review on this kit, I am still just like, oh my gosh, these special drills are giving me life. I love it. I love it. I love it. I adored working on this kit. It was actually sent to me as a sneak peek, and I decided to kit it up right away because I was like, this is perfect for Drills and Chills. I loved the overall render on it. The artwork is a little bit outside of what I think is Diamond Art Club's norm, where it's a lot softer, almost blurry in some ways, like you can see down here. I always point out that this butterfly or moth is deliberately out of focus because it's that way in the original artwork. I was really curious to see, okay, how is this going to translate with Diamond Art Club's rendering style? And I was so happy with it. They did a nice job of really softening the edges and matching that original artwork really nicely. I was so happy with how it finished. And the artist seems to be really sweet. And I just feel like, okay, now I want all of her artwork because I can see that it does seem to translate well, and Diamond Art Club can handle this style of artwork really well too. As far as challenges go, to be honest, it's a lot of personal preference for me. There was a lot of confetti in this kit, and confetti sometimes slows me down just a little bit, and I was feeling a little bit impatient, like I really want to get through this quickly. And so there was lots and lots of confetti, especially in the bottom. But I truly can't complain about that. I certainly can't hold it against Diamond Art Club because I think the confetti was necessary to give us the finished effect, that softer finished effect. If it would have been less confetti, it would have been a lot harsher lines. So it's just a personal thing where I'm like, if I have lots of confetti that I'm working on, I start to feel a little bit of fatigue on that. So I just wanted to mention that. But like I said, it's very much just a personal preference sort of thing. The other thing is a personal preference as well, but I actually would have been really interested to see them. I don't know where they would have, to be fair, but I would have loved for them to find an excuse to work in even more of these crystal drills, these iridescent crystal drills like these three. I just loved them so much, and I think they have such a gorgeous effect. I was like, I wish that there would have been even more in this kit because there were just like a dozen or 2 dozen total, so it was very light-handed. But again, I don't necessarily have a suggestion for where else I would have put them, so I can't really be like, oh no, this was the problem. So you can hear that I'm being pretty nitpicky as far as the things that I maybe didn't necessarily love as much about this kit, or things that I would try to find a critique about this kit, but it's completely subjective. So you can completely disagree, and I certainly do not think that they're worth stopping you from getting this kit and working on it. So anyway, this was my first finish of the month. It was let me take a look. I note how many, like what number finish this is in like the year of 2022, as well as my, like what number finish this is of all time. And so this is my 33rd finish of the year, and it's my 96th finish of all time, I guess, since I started diamond painting in April of 2020. So yeah, this is my first finish. I'm going to shift it out of the way and pull over my second finish. Next up, I have this kit that was actually one of my WIPs going into October. So you would have seen just a tiny bit of it completed. I think I just had a few sections at the top finished. But this kit is Midnight Spell. It is also from Diamond Art Club, and it's by the artist Chrisabug. This one is quite a bit bigger at 70 by 89 centimeters. It's a big one. And it has a total of 59 colors. And it has square drills. So between the size and the square drills and a decent amount of confetti in some areas, this project did take me just a little bit longer to finish. I think the finished look of it, though, is totally worth it. This was one that I had to take little breaks from to work on other projects, some out of necessity and some just to give myself a little bit of a break. But I was always happy to come back to it. And finally, when it came down to it and I finished Moonlight Bride, I was like, okay, I'm coming back to Midnight Spell and I just want to sit down, get some momentum and finish it. I was less than halfway done with this kit at that point, but was like, I really want to get this done for Drills and Chills and Festival of Witches. So if you've followed my posts on Instagram, my progress posts on this particular kit, or if you watched my past videos about this kit, you'll have heard me say already several times what my very, very favorite part of this kit was. And it was absolutely our trio of cats. I love them so much. Every single time I pull them out and I'm like, the cats, they're my favorite. Derpy Cat, which I named Derpy Cat right out the gate. I was like, this is Derpy Cat and he is my favorite. And then my friend Kate named this one Doom Cat. And I was like, yes, Derpy Cat, Doom Cat. Okay, Instagram, do your work, please, and tell me what name that starts with a D we can give this cat. And I think a couple of people suggested like Dozy Cat or Drowsy Cat. And I was like, perfect, we'll just go with one of those. So I love the cats so much. I think that they are my favorite part of this painting and have just so much personality. I do love our thick witch. She's great. She's got a super, super cute face. And this kit has some really nice AB placement. It's pretty sparing. This kit does not have a lot in the way of ABs. We have some pink ABs over here, kind of in the magic she's doing on the parchment. And there's a good amount of ABs at the tip of her wand. There's some pale yellow and some white ABs happening up here in the glow of the lamp as well. I thought the shading in this kit overall was really good. Especially given that it was just a lot of neutrals. Like if you look at the top, tons of grays, so many grays and shades of gray, 50 maybe. No, I'm totally kidding, you guys. And then we had more gray at the bottom and then some beiges and neutrals in here and browns in her hat, grays and browns in her shirt. So a ton of those neutral colors. A lot of them were almost dull, but at the same time, I feel like that really muted background means that the rest of the artwork really popped. So I'm not at all criticizing the artist's work whatsoever. I'm just speaking to my experience of working on this kit and where some of that fatigue maybe came from. But again, I am so happy with the finished look of it all. I think the plants, can we talk about how cute the plant rendering is? Like the shading is so good. There's even some green ABs here at the where the light's glinting off the plant leaves here. So I thought that was so good. And the little like apothecary jars over here, really cute. Amazing attention to detail from Diamond Art Club's rendering team. But the other thing I was going to point out that I wasn't totally sure of, it totally works when you pull back, I feel like, but there's a line of like it's not hot pink. It's like a really bright coral going on, kind of in the shading in between these like pretty neutral beiges, and then it goes into some shades of pink. And just this color, this transition color right here, I was not totally sure about up close. I do think it works when you pull back. It's kind of fitting with the lighting effect and stuff. But it just kind of made me go, especially when I was up close working on it, made me go, huh, that color is a little, I don't know how I feel about it. That's subjective. The drill quality on this kit was fantastic. It definitely had Diamond Art Club's newer squares. This was a release from the 4th anniversary back in the spring. And it also had a tighter drill field because that was one adjustment that they made a little while after like switching over to their newer square drills, is they went in and tightened up the drill field just a little bit because they didn't have to allow as much space for like basically margin for error with the drills because their new squares were so consistent in size and shape. They're like, okay, we can tighten up the drill field. There's not gonna be any gapping. It fits together like a glove. There's no popping, no gapping. This was a magical kit to work on. Pardon my pun, if you will. But I thought that the AB placement, like I said, was really nice as well. And then kind of what I call the usual suspects. And I should have mentioned this about Moonlight Bride as well, but the things that you can really truly come to expect from Diamond Art Club quality wise, such as like the canvas material, the glue, the drill quality, the clarity on the drill field, having enough drills to complete the kit, all those sorts of things. And if you aren't happy or run into problems with any of those aspects of the kit, as long as you're the original owner and purchaser of the kit, you're covered under their lifetime warranty. You just contact their customer service, let them know that you're having an issue, and if you're short on drills, they'll send you more. If you're having an issue with the glue, they'll help you troubleshoot it and take care of you. So those kinds of things make Diamond Art Club kits just really reliable, in my opinion. So anyway, this was my second finish of the month, 34th finish of 2022, and 97th finish since I started diamond painting. So let me shift this one out of the way. I'm gonna grab my third kit for you guys. Now, my third finish, you may have just recently seen. This is Stained Glass Jack-O-Lantern from Crystal Canvas Art Designs and the artist Natalia Zachary. And it's 40 by 60 centimeters, 32 colors, and is a full crystal kit, which means every single drill on here, every single color is actually a crystal diamond. So crystals, if you take a look up close, have this really pretty, like almost glassy finished effect. You see they're transparent. All these crystals actually have a silver backing on them that helps them be really shiny and reflective and covers up the symbol underneath fully. So yes, I thought this was so neat to work on. It's been quite a while since I've worked on a full crystal kit. I think at least a year, maybe closer to 2. And so with Drills and Chills and with Crystal Canvas Art Design sponsoring the event, I was like, oh, this is the perfect excuse to go and take a look at their kits again. I knew that they had fully licensed artwork, and I thought it would be so interesting to work on a full crystal kit from them, and everything is legally licensed, like I said, and this caught my eye because of course it's seasonal. So working on a crystal kit can be a little bit of a different experience. So I recommend starting with a smaller kit just so you can kind of get a feel for it and go through the learning curve and whatnot. And that will just sort of give you a sense for like, okay, do I feel like I want to tackle a larger project or do I want to stick with the smaller ones? This kit I thought looked really good finished. I had deliberately picked a kit that had stained glass in the title because I thought, okay, stained glass, that effect that we see from artists like Mandy Manzano, we already know tends to translate well into diamond painting form anyway. But then the thought of like a stained glass piece and crystals, I was like, that's literally what the look of stained glass is. So I was like, I think that would be a really good choice to go with. And I have to say, I think it was the right choice. I think that this turned out really well. This kit, believe it or not, has a lot of confetti in it. Like I mentioned, it has 32 colors, which maybe from a distance you'd look at this and go, maybe it has a dozen colors, like a couple of shades of blue, a couple of shades of orange, a couple of shades of green and yellow. But when you get up close, you can kind of see that no, there's totally like a lot of confetti in here. So it did take longer to complete than you might expect because it was a lot of single placing. Also, the feeling of multi-placing and single placing, actually, the feeling of placing crystals in general, it feels different, like to your hands, to your fingers, than placing regular diamonds does. So that can be a little bit of an adjustment. You might find that certain waxes or putties work better or worse than the ones you're used to using with your regular drill kit. So I encourage you to try out some different options if you're struggling, because that may be the culprit. But it was worth it. And I'm glad that I got it in this size. I feel like this is a really beginner friendly size. They have a lot of really beginner friendly sizes, but also just generally a really wide range. So if you want to go with a bigger size, they have those kinds of options and a big variety of styles as well. I had enough drills left over in each color that I'm probably just going to go ahead and save, because why would I not save extra crystal drills. Maybe someday I'll feel like adding some enhancements to my canvas with those crystals. So I'm going to save them because it feels like extra free goodies left over after, which is really fun. I thought that the drill field was mostly really clear, but one thing I did notice is that even though the legend shows that sometimes it's a color background with a white symbol and sometimes it's a color background with a black symbol, across the board, they all had white symbols. So it was never black. It was always a white, number or letter. So there were a couple that I almost mixed up. I have that right. It wasn't black on there, was it? I'll put up a picture, you guys. I took some pictures, but now that all the symbols are covered, I'm like, am I remembering that correctly? It basically, either way, they were all the same. It wasn't like some are black and some are white. Unfortunately, that meant that some of these colors were a bit easy to mix up. Fortunately, they were all really close. The ones that I almost mixed up were close. Specifically, the letter T and the number 1 looked really similar on the canvas. And then actually 5 and 6, I almost mixed up as well, just because of the printing itself. The good news is, even if I did mix any of those colors up, I really don't think that you would notice. And I just needed to make sure that I was paying close attention, and it really was not a big deal. So I'll let the owner know just so that she is aware, but it's not even remotely a deal breaker for me, just so you know. I did actually use this canvas as a chance to experiment with sealing a diamond painting. I actually did a video on that and kind of added that to my how-to list of videos. I do have a playlist that's just tutorials and how-tos, and thought I'm gonna go ahead and just do a video on how I seal a diamond painting when I need to, because the glue is just a little bit slippery and crystals can be finicky. They sometimes don't necessarily want to stick to the canvas very well. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and seal this, and hey, I'll do a video out of it as well. So if you'd like to see more about that and see the actual process in progress, I'll link to that post review / how-to video down in the description box, and feel free to go and take a look if you like. So this was my 3rd finish of the month. It was my 6th finish for Drills and Chills, specifically my 6th and final finish for Drills and Chills, 35th finish of 2022, and 98th finish since I started diamond painting of all time. So that's my last finish for October. And let me now show you my WIP going into November. And I'm hoping that you guys are going to be really happy to see this one. So I finished up that Crystal Canvas Art Designs, I don't know, 5 or 6 days before the end of the month. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to try to do another Drills and Chills kit. I have a little bit of event fatigue. I'm kind of ready to go ahead and move on to something else. And so I was kind of debating like, okay, what do I maybe want to kit up? And I was like, hold up. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out my cross-stitch conversion project that I have been neglecting for way too long. If you are newer, and I mean, even if you're not newer and it just really has been that long and you're like, what are you talking about, your cross-stitch conversion project? I will link to the playlist where I explain this whole project and unbox the materials and all that. But for now, you guys, I'm really excited to share this with you, and I'm a little bit drawing it out because I'm milking it. But I worked on my cross-stitch conversion project. Oops, I bumped that camera. So look, you guys, I am over halfway done with this panel. So let me give you a really quick snapshot breakdown while you guys just enjoy that. That looks good in the camera, actually. In my opinion, it really looks even better in the camera than it does in person, for sure. It kind of comes together in a way that it doesn't quite look in person, so especially up close. But anyway, so this is, as you can see, this is a blank canvas. I am taking a cross-stitch chart and reading it and doing counted everything and converting that cross-stitch chart to a diamond painting on a blank canvas. The chart that I'm converting is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is called Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart, who has this absolutely beautiful artwork, including some in a bookshelf series, and so I believe this is one of those. Turned into a diamond painting, it's very, very large. I think around like 138 centimeters, like 188, really large. And I was taking some learnings from the original cross-stitch project that conversion project I had started, look at the playlist if you want to see that whole set of details, because I don't want to talk your ear off any more than I already am. But I basically decided, okay, the way I want to break this down is I'm going to take this really large project and break it down into 8 panel style, like long and skinny panels. So each of the panels is around 34 by, let's see, it says on the edge here. 35 by 95 centimeters, but that has an extra centimeter each direction, so 34 by 94 centimeters, I think. And I sourced the canvases from Evermoment. They have poured glue now, and their drills, which are resin, and I just am so happy. I think in my last recap video, I did share this with you guys, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I still haven't worked on this one. I think I was about to here. I think I was, starting here. I think I'd gotten about to here. So in the past 6 days, I've gotten this much done. This is according to my Pattern Keeper app, which is this is an app where I can digitally track and mark my chart, my cross stitch chart. According to Pattern Keeper, I just broke 6% completion. I'm a bit over that, maybe close to 6.5% completion, because I know that I hit the halfway point on this panel. And it is really fun to see it come together. I feel really good about returning to this project, and I hope you guys are happy to see its return as well. I am planning to spend some additional time on it, though I have some things planned for November that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. But I was just going to say that it has been good to get back to this. There was a little bit of a little bit of a learning curve getting back into it, because it had been a little while. So I was getting back into the rhythm of reading the cross stitch chart and how I place and counting, and my brain is back in that mode though. And so I haven't worked on anything else at all since I returned to this project after finishing my last Drills and Chills canvas. And I think it shows, because I feel like this is not a small amount to have gotten done, especially when you're reading a cross stitch chart. It's a highly confetti heavy canvas, highly confetti heavy canvas, around 90 colors in total. It just is a lot more time consuming than a regular diamond painting is, but very, very rewarding. And like I said, I'm really happy to be back to it. Now, talking about November, plans, things that are coming here on the channel. So I don't currently have any plans to participate in any events. In November, especially coming off of 2 months of Drills and Chills, and shortly before Drills and Chills started, I just wrapped up co-hosting Summer with the Masters with Jessica, who is Tiny Worlds of Wonder. And so after I kind of came out of this 5 months with just a small break in the middle of hosting 2 really large events, I tend to take the month of November and just be like, okay, I'm just going to follow my nose, work on what's bringing me joy, kind of take a breather. So if you're hosting an event or anything like that, and you see that I'm not participating, please don't take it at all personally. It's just like I'm taking care of my mental health sort of thing. But I do have some exciting things that I'm going to be working on, in addition to continuing to share some love with this cross-stitch conversion. Like, it would be a dream if I could finish this whole panel in the month of November, and I think that's doable, though I do have a couple of projects that I'm going to be helping a couple of small shops out with. I do want to get some time on this still, because I feel like I have some momentum. I want to keep it up. But if you happen to be a numbers person and listening, as I mentioned, like what number of completed kits I'm on, you would have heard me mention that this last finish that I shared with you is my 98th finish of all time, which means that my 100th finish of all time is just around the corner. And I decided that I wanted to be my 100th finish. I wanted my 100th finish to be something really special and meaningful to me. So I actually narrowed it down to a couple of kits and then shared it with my Patreon to have them vote and help me decide which to work on. And that poll is still up. I'm going to give it another day or two before I'm like, okay, it looks like it's going to be this one. But I'm going to be working on one of my unicorn that I was very lucky to find from Mandy Manzano, one of the princess panels. So you have to stay tuned and see which one I ultimately decide, or my Patreon ultimately decides for me on. But I'm thinking that'll be my 100th finish. I think for my 99th kit, I am looking at starting on Scorpio Dragon from the one with the diamond art, which I unboxed a month or two ago. But I am a Scorpio. My birthday is just around the corner, and I thought it would be really fun to work on that one during Scorpio season. So I may kind of put this one in just a little bit of a pause so I can work on that Scorpio Dragon, but I really don't want to neglect this project nearly as much as I did. So you'll be seeing me work on a variety of kits from a variety of different companies in the upcoming month. I am still really committed to showing you guys completed kits from not just a really small pool of companies. There's so many companies out there right now that offer licensed diamond paintings that there's no reason not to take advantage and test them out, especially because so many of them offer a variety of styles that may appeal to like you or not appeal to you. Maybe there's another one. So I'm really committed to trying to like actually finish those canvases so that you guys can have an idea of what to expect if you were to buy from that company. So if you're curious, my Modmin team for the Diamonds and Emeralds Facebook group that I host with Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights, we have been working really hard since we launched the group actually to put together and maintain a list of companies that offer 100% legally licensed diamond paintings. I will do my very best to remember to link to that doc below. It's a Google Doc, so it's live. We can be updating it regularly. You can download it as a PDF if you like. You're welcome to share it anywhere you'd like to. The only request that we have is that you would credit us, because it took a lot of time and research and work especially to initially put that together, but just to also kind of try to keep it maintained and up to date. So that's the only request we have, is if you share it, please leave the credit that we have at the top there or mention where it came from, where you found it. So anyway, you guys, that wraps up my recap, my month in review, and my looking ahead to the month of November. I hope you enjoyed this snapshot look at the different projects I've been working on. I hope that you're happy to see that I have been working on this project. I am planning to get back to doing my videos in my cross-stitch conversion series with updates and whatnot. I originally was thinking I would just post those updates each time I finish a panel, but it's been so long, I might do a dedicated update video even sooner than that. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That's the best way to stay up to date with my content and make sure you're not missing anything. You'll see me post unboxings, post reviews, tutorials, small shop hauls, just a whole variety of things. And WIP and chats if that's your thing too. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, let me know below anything you worked on in the month of October that you're excited to share about, or anything fun you have planned for the month of November. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed sharing these with you, and thanks for being here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and start to your November. I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.